Welcome to the G.N.A podcast, games, nerds, and alcohol, where we get drunk and talk about stuff. Dramatic Kirk pause.
Love stuff.
We talk about all the stuff. Tonight's the weird stuff, though. Yeah, tonight's like the stuff that we want to do stuff that's involved with stuff.
You're making it very awkward and scary.
He's talking about butt stuff.
Oh, I was going to talk about double stuff.
Oh, man. The amount of Crisco that would be pouring out of there is just, oh, God.
Well, I mean, that's all that's in the Oreo cookie, right? It's just Crisco.
Yeah.
Crisco and sugar.
Pretty much. Well, we're being joined tonight by the typical crew, and if you can't hear him, we've got a genuine article here. Not the article. We're still trying to get him on, but we have the Gravemind. Gravemind, how you feeling tonight, man?
Good. Oreos.
Double stuffed?
I actually do have some in the cabinet, but I'm going to refrain for now.
Oh, I can't have Oreos in the house. I will devour them like a friggin' Tyrannosaurus devouring I don't know, whatever they eat.
Hey, you put some milk on there. It's got protein. It cancels it out, right?
No, I don't use milk. No, I just grab those cookies and just shove them in my face 3-4 at a time.
I would like to verify that Tyrannosauruses do eat lawyers. Specifically, they made a movie about it.
Oh, yeah, good point. They do eat lawyers.
But they do not use their arms to feed themselves Oreos, for their arms cannot reach.
Do they dunk the lawyers in milk first?
No, they cannot. They cannot reach.
They dunk them in the toilet bowl first.
They got big heads and little arms.
Well, I mean, they are in the toilet while they are being eaten, so if Jurassic Park has told me anything, it's that T-Rexes like to eat people that are on the toilet.
However, Jurassic Park did get one thing wrong. When they said, "Oh, stay very still, they can't see you, they can only see motion." Wrong. Scientists studied the skulls and everything else and fossils and have come up with the strong theory that they had better eyesight than either humans or falcons and hawks.
Yes, it was a very good, strong, bad theory.
Yep.
And also, I'm pretty sure that girl did not know the Unix system.
No, she didn't. And anyways, it was supposed to be the little boy.
There's an entire subreddit from that quote in the movie. It's a Unix system.
And we're being joined tonight by Shadow Fox. How you doing, Shadow Fox?
Better. Way better.
Oh, good. Even with the incident of... Anyway. Hey, D, how you feeling? We're being joined by D as well.
Not too shabby. Yet another day off, so I'm liking the 3-day weekend.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
And we're being joined by Shinzu. How you doing, guy?
Oh, I'm living the life, man.
You're living the dream?
I'm living the dream.
Whose dream is it?
I don't know yet. I have to dig his wallet out from his corpse and see.
Oh, positive. I like that. We would be joined by Zyberblood, but he was abducted last episode, and last we heard he was in Detroit. I think he showed us a picture from New York. I don't know. The last picture I saw was kind of scare-aroused.
Or was it a different dimension where they're both the same?
It could be. Maybe it was Gotham.
Oh.
Because that's kind of New York and Detroit together.
Yeah, sure. I also want to mention before we get to drinks that this is the only podcast where you can go from Oreos to Jurassic Park in 2 sentences.
And it'd actually be somewhat logical how you got there.
Yeah.
That's because I'm involved and I tend to do that.
And we're being joined by Blueshark. How you feeling tonight, Blueshark?
Oh, man, I'm doing great tonight. It's just been a wonderful, wonderful week, man. How about yourself?
I can't complain. Good day. Well, let's go into what people are drinking. So, Grave, what are you drinking with us tonight, man?
So I have in this glass is actually my number one. I recently proclaimed is a Devastator Double Bock from Wasatch Brewery. It's out of Utah. Imagine that with the Mormons.
I'm glad you said it was a beer, because if that was a full glass of rum, I was about to hand the crown to you.
It should be, but no, it's the Double Bock. And then I've got in my Glencairn here a little bit of Red Saw bourbon.
Ooh, nice.
it was sent. I believe Zyber sent me a care package with a little bottle of Red Saw, and I found it at my liquor store. So I thought I would revisit it. Tasting notes, kind of cherry and oak, maybe a little bit of vanilla, a lot of sweet.
What about that double bock? What's that like?
Double bock, very malty. Like I used to do a lot of pale ales, and I thought I was a ale guy, but this one is making me rethink that. I think I like the malt a little bit better than the hop.
Nice. Did you hear about Dogfish Head coming out with a 75-minute IPA?
They're the 90-minute IPA, right?
Well, they're the 60, 90, and 120. Yeah, but they're coming out with a 75-minute IPA that they're adding maple syrup to.
That'll go over well in Canada.
It's going to go over well with this guy because that sounds incredible.
But especially Canada. No, Dogfish Head, it recently released here, and I don't know. I want to try it, but it seems like it's an investment because it's kind of expensive.
Try the Flesh and Blood IPA.
Okay.
Or the Indian Brown Ale. Both of those are two great places to start.
Next time I look, I'll look them up. But yeah, it does seem like it's a little pricier. Like this one is $8.99 a 6-pack, and it's something I know I like. So, but yeah, next time I'm in there trying to experiment, and I'll keep those in mind.
I mean, it's not that expensive if you think of it. A 4-pack of 120 is only like $43.
But of course you are too. So, God damn it.
What are you drinking with us tonight, D?
I bought a huge case of this, so I'm still trying to pound through the Shipyard Pumpkin Head. It's a... I
always like this time of year for those pumpkin.
Yeah, they do a really good job. It's a very... it's a nice, light, refreshing ale. A little splash of pumpkin in it, so it's not overbearing. It's not like, oh, pumpkin. So it's just really good, and 4.5% alcohol.
Not like a pumpkin took a dump in your mouth?
No, Headless Horseman didn't go, open wide. It's even got the pumpkin seeds. Oh, that's a good one. No, this is actually pretty good. I bet I did.
I got a boner.
I bet I turned people on harder than a fart in a deck, you know?
I could see that. I could see that being arousing in the correct situation. What about you, Shinzu?
I was going to say, drinking? I hope you don't pick me next because I'm actually drinking a mudslide right now.
Well, man, that joke just kind of rolled right in there, didn't it? So, so tell me,
I was really like,
how's that mudslide taste?
It's gone sour now. Apparently, I'm just imagining some dingleberries floating in there and shit. I mean, I had shit in the bar that I needed to drink, and I was like, yeah, I'll just throw some stuff together I got for the first time in months.
You had shit in the bar you had to drink.
Yeah, I did, absolutely. It just kind of sits in a jar from there. I keep it in the jar.
This fart joke is just keep going. I mean, it's going forever.
So, that's what I'm drinking tonight, and now I don't feel so good about it.
All right, so, Shadow, what are you drinking tonight, man?
Please tell me it's a coffee stout.
I'm not.
Please tell me it's a nut brown ale. Please.
That's a bit nutty.
Man, this joke went south. Far south.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right about to the dick south.
Oh, God.
And Blueshark, what are you drinking with us tonight, man?
I am actually enjoying myself a very simple cocktail. It's 100% agave Blanco tequila, El Padrino, with shaken with some ice and a little bit of lime juice. It's just a real simple, smooth cocktail for me, and it's usually what's my go-to for tequila. I don't like mixing tequila with just about anything else on a normal basis, so this is what I go with.
And well, I myself am drinking it's by Voodoo Ranger. It's called a Juicy Haze IPA.
Yep. It's I think New Belgium is behind it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
They I really like their double IPA. I think it's Voodoo Ranger brand as well, but their double IPA is really good.
Well, this is the first one I've had of it, and I gotta give you a full detail on this. So, I'm used to my IPAs being cloudy, but this literally is so cloudy it almost looks a yellow. Like it almost looks the color of Shinzu's logo yellow.
Sorry about that. Couldn't resist.
Well, I know when I first poured it, I looked at it and I went, wow, that's an incredibly cloudy beer. And I guess that's why they call it Juicy Haze IPA, because this is a hazy looking beer. Very, very aromatic. It's got a lot of citrus notes in the smell. Very, very strong. Surprisingly smooth of a drink, though.
Do you know what kind of hops they use?
It's not bitter at all, really. It's really, really smooth. So they use... Hold on, let me look here. It's a Citra, Cascade,
Cascades are my favorite.
I'm spelling this wrong, or saying this wrong. Smoko?
Simona. Or, sorry.
Smoko, whatever, and Nugget.
Samoa?
No, it's like Simcoe.
Oh, Simcoe.
Yeah, anyway. It's only 7.5 by volume, so it's a good hearty beer. It's higher than the normal ones, but it's really super smooth. It's way smoother than I thought it'd be. There's a lasting taste with it, but it's not like a typical IPA where it's a lasting bitter taste. It's almost like it's got that little bit of an aftertaste when somebody farts in a car and then you open a window, like that.
Man, this is a fart joke episode. Lots of fart jokes.
We like to apologize
really good,
for our shitty episode.
Yeah.
Funny, I thought it was a gas.
Get out now. Leave, break your mic, and walk out the door.
We're going to hell. We're just going. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Straight to hell.
I did want to say that I like New Belgium stuff, so I'll probably look into that one eventually.
Yeah, it's really, really smooth. I could probably drink this all day long because it's super, super smooth. I have no clue what the calorie content is on it and all that jazz. I probably don't want to drink it all day long, but
Yeah, you really don't.
yeah,
No one needs to know what the calories are in their beer. No.
agreed.
It's like drinking water. There's no calories in it. It's liquid.
I think of it like a piece of bread.
Just eat it with some ham. You'll be fine.
Yeah, if I just had like some cheese and ham right here rolled up, drink a sip, eat some ham.
Mm-hmm.
I can make that work. Roll some bacon in there. All right, next segment we have State of Games. State of Games, if you've never listened before, is basically where we talk about what we've been playing for the past week, or we pontificate on how we feel games are in general nowadays. So, let's start off with you, D. What is your State of Games, guy?
Well, I'm been playing some retro. So I got Clash at Demon Head, so I've been playing that. That's a fun platformer. You get to basically decide which path to take. There's a lot of different routes you can go, and you got to try to find some items, power-ups, and defeat some bosses before you get to the top, and I guess save your girlfriend and whatever. So it's a fun platformer. I've been playing, of course, Octopath Traveler, and I've been playing some Super Mario Odyssey on the Switch with the kids.
Nice.
So they've been really enjoying that. I got them playing around with the first level. You get the hat, you throw it on, you could be a T-Rex running around. So they both were playing with that for a while.
I have got to get a Switch because there is so much that I want to do on the Switch.
It's fantastic. I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'm really stoked about it. I've been saving up my Amazon credits to hopefully eventually buy one.
We actually just got a Switch. It was my wife's Christmas present. She's been playing Super Mario Odyssey, and she got Splatoon 2.
Nice. Well, what's your State of Games there, Gravemind? What you been doing?
I have been trudging my way through Dark Souls 2 on PC. I'm currently on a giant two-headed spider boss. It likes to spit poison in my face, and I'm not too big of a fan of that, but I'm working through it. I also Battle for Azeroth came out on World of Warcraft. I've been on the fence whether I'll actually stick to this expansion with my school schedule and everything, but I'm playing it right now just to try and see if I will stick to it. It's to be determined, though. And then I also have Breath of the Wild for the Switch she just got. So I didn't stay completely out of it, and I'll probably start playing that pretty soon. But I'll let you know on that one.
Very cool. How about you, Shadow? What is your state of games there, guy?
I've been playing Wildlands by myself without you.
He sounds kind of dated.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I haven't been going through a good time recently, so it's comforting.
Comforting like when I go to grab your butt and I get a whole handful of taint?
Only if I fart on you.
What about you, Shinzu? What's your state of games there, guy?
I've been playing, I got back into Left 4 Dead 2, playing some Dungeons 3. Also spun up Diablo 3 again, Half-Life 2, as well as Dark Souls 3. Oh, and Nintendo's new mobile game, Dragalia Lost.
Tell me about that one. I don't know that one.
I don't know. You guys ever get into Fire Emblem Heroes for iOS? Yeah. It's kind of like that, but it has more of an RPG flavor to it, where you actually go in, you can play co-op with teammates, and you go through like dungeons and levels, fight bosses together. It's pretty cool. I'm still pretty early into the game. I will say that there is a lot of things that will require cash if you want to advance quickly in the game. Otherwise, you have to be relatively patient and kind of hope for those good pulls.
Typical mobile game.
Yeah, very much typical. It's still fun, though. I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't wear off. I know Fire Emblem Heroes tended to fade relatively quickly after you got the game, and you didn't really have the orbs to summon you guys. But this seems to be doing all right now. I'll have a better review next time we talk.
Better pacing?
Yeah, better pace out.
The only Fire Emblem game I ever played was the original one on... well, it might not have been the original one. There might have been a first one that I wasn't aware of, but the one on the Game Boy Advanced.
That was the... I think that was the first US release one. I don't know too much about the history yet. I remember playing through that game, and every time one of my characters would die, I restarted it from my save point, because they all had to survive.
Mm-hmm. No, if any one of them die, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That's like XCOM. XCOM's like that too. If any of your people die, you got to restart.
Oh, that's not how I played XCOM. I would charge one person in, they'd croak, and I'd be like, well, sorry about that. Let me hire a new one.
You're the target dummy. You run in while everyone else shoots.
I need somebody to take some fire. Hey, you're really big, and you've got a lot of HP. Go run in there.
Yeah, I played XCOM like a little dictator. So,
wait a minute, are we talking the re-release of XCOM or the original XCOM?
I was talking the original.
I played the
remake.
Yeah, what's the first one? Enemy Unknown, I think.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that was the original one. XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Oh, there's like a much more original one than that. Like late 90s. I forget the name of it.
It was originally called XCOM Enemy Unknown when it was released here. Because it was, I believe it was released in England, or maybe I think it was released PAL first. I can't remember.
Oh, I was mistaken then. UFO Defense is the old one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay, that one. Yeah, they rebranded that, though.
Oh, okay.
According to Wiki, UFO Enemy Unknown was the first one in 1994.
Oh, that must have been like they mixed the names then.
Yeah, they rebranded it.
The remake, like it was late 2000s, was Enemy Unknown, and then they did a expansion pack that was Enemy Within. They also did a first-person shooter, which I played. It was halfway decent.
Oh, the Declassified?
Yeah.
I have that. I haven't played that yet, though.
It was all right. I would recommend it. Probably a fun, 6-7 hours.
Yeah. So fun fact about the original XCOMs that came out in the 90s. The original one, Enemy Unknown, or I can swear they rebranded it as something else though. No, it was originally Enemy Unknown. Yeah, 1994, Enemy Unknown. Came out for Windows. Anyway, so the original one, Enemy Unknown, was difficult, was hard, it was fun. But then when they came out with XCOM Terror from the Deep, it's like they literally said, hey, you know what? The first game was way too easy. Let's turn it to 11. And holy shit, on the easiest difficulty level, that game was still hard.
I like when games do that, though.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good. I like the storyline. I like where they went with it. But, oh my god. I don't think I actually ever beat Terror from the Deep without putting on cheats.
That's like the original StarCraft campaign, Power Overwhelming. I still remember. I remember that cheat code, and there is no cow level that would just automatically win the game. Remember cheat codes? Those were a thing.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, select, start.
The old Konami code. Except now the cheat codes are enter your credit card number.
Or how about this one? Let's see how you guys remember your cheat codes. How about ABACABB?
No.
That was the original Genesis Mortal Kombat blood code.
Oh wow, nice.
Now you're making me try to remember the Supersonic cheat code for Sonic 2. You did it in the like the sound test options, but I forget the exact numbers. It was like 10 years ago. I could probably remember it.
Well, here, I don't know if this counts as a cheat code, but there was in Mortal Kombat 2, if you held, I think it was B on your D-pad, or maybe it was down on your D-pad for 30 seconds with Shang Tsung, and you were at mid-range and released it from mid-range, you turn into Kataro, the four-armed monster that you got to fight at the end, and you'd actually punch the top half of their body off.
Huh. That sounds a lot like it's so simple. It sounds like the truck in the original Pokemon games where you have to get 6 golems that all know strength to move it, and you would get a Mew.
Yeah, those little Easter eggs are fantastic.
But it wasn't true.
What's your state of games, Blue?
Well, I actually got some gaming in this week. Things are kind of busy at work, and they still kind of are, but it's slowing down a little bit. I played some Splinter Cell, Blacklist. Sorry for the brain fart there. Splinter Cell Blacklist, I've been working on getting the combat kills, trying to complete each mission with a combat rating of gold. And then I played some Pokemon Go, and also I ended up playing some OG Splinter Cell on the PC. Got the controller to work with Steam, but it's not perfect. Like, I can't control my speed of my movements, so I have to keep my mouse next to me, and I kind of have to like fudge that, kind of move it around. Sometimes look down my pistol to slow myself down, you know, if I decide I want to keep it at one constant speed.
Well, my state of games, I have actually been playing a few games this week. I've been playing Marvel Strike Force on mobile. There was a new one, which I forgot the name of it, which is half city builder, half puzzle quest, and kind of half RPG. You have different enemies that you have to fight. You solve the puzzles and the puzzle quest thing, and it attacks the creatures, and then they have HP, and then they eventually die, and you're et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you've got some town building elements to it as well, where you gotta set something up and then wait, and then set something up and wait.
Do you have your phone next to you?
I don't. I do not. Otherwise, I would look it up and tell you exactly what the name was.
Oh, I was about to say, tell us the name, oh Mathwez. Oh God of fractions.
Nice one, D. Nice.
I if I had my phone next to me, I would. Yeah, I would have if I had it here, but I totally don't. I've been jumping into some Destiny 2, just to try to grind out a few more levels. I finally made it to, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, really?" I made it. I finally made it to like light level 520, when the rest of my clan is like, I think, almost 600 now. PS4, not PC. PS4.
No, how long have I not played that game? When did this all happen?
Oh, when Forsaken came out, they brought the light level up from 400 to 600.
It was at 400? When would that happen?
Back when the last expansion released.
Oh, jeez.
I haven't played since that one time that I wanted to raid and couldn't because I didn't buy the expansion, and I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Oh yeah, that was a big old kick in the cock there.
Yeah, no, I was like, yeah, you done. You're not getting my money anymore.
It's like when you go out to play with your friends for the last time, but nobody knows it. It was like my last raid with Cecil.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Shadow. It's kind of messed up, man.
Yeah, the raids are fun though. I mean, they're really, really fun.
Well, I liked Destiny's raids, but I just can't forgive them for that.
That was a pretty dick thing to do, and they didn't do that with Destiny 1, so it was a bit of a surprise when they did that in Destiny 2. It really was. I think it was an oversight.
Like, when that happened, I was ready to go to the raid that night, and like, you guys were all setting up, we were going to do PC raid, and I was all excited, and they're like, oh, you can't go. I was like, fuck, man. I'm done.
I really think it was an oversight. Somebody on Bungie just didn't catch it, and they're like, "Oh, oops."
Versus when I got kicked, and then an hour later, I heard them say, "Didn't we have a warlock on the team?" And I laughed. And I laughed.
Yeah, you did have a warlock on the team, but you booted him for some other guy.
Yeah, sucks to be you.
Oh man.
But yeah, I've been playing some Destiny 2, and I actually just downloaded Overwatch because it was part of the Humble Bundle monthly. So
I gave it to my brother because I already had it, but it's fun. I like Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm probably going to jump into that. See if I can do there. I got that from Humble Bundle, which we are partnered with. So if you don't buy from Humble Bundle, please do, and throw that !partner equals G.N.A podcast at the end, because we don't want any of your money. So put that slider down to 0. But if you do anything, if you buy a game, if you subscribe to Humble Bundle monthly, put that !partner equals G.N.A podcast at the end, and it throws some love our way. It lets them know that we sent you there. Actually, the only thing that you can't change is if you actually do a Humble Bundle monthly and you subscribe. Every time that you subscribe, every new customer, we get $10, and there's nothing we can do about that. But we're probably going to turn around, buy codes with it, and then give them away on Game Show night.
Soon to be partners with Humble Bumble too.
Humble Bumble,
the monthly honey service.
And we're going to put that into things like tea and beer.
Sure, mead. We like mead.
I could do that. I
Yeah,
could totally do some mead.
I saw some new mead at the liquor store. I was tempted, but I like the Viking blood. Someone turned me onto that. I forget who it was. I'll remember it later. But yeah, Viking blood. Good stuff. Try it.
So the topic we actually had for tonight is a little bit off the wall. It's kind of game related, but it's kind of more not, since it's really like where we want to go. But we got to keep it into some constraints. So the topic was game locations, games with real life locations in them, and which ones we thought were cool, how we did they do well, etc., etc., etc. So I mean, I'll start off with the first game that just comes right to my mind is the original Spider-Man that I think came out for PlayStation. I think the original one came out for PlayStation. Maybe it was PlayStation 2. But
I still remember a Spider-Man game that was based around Carnage on Genesis.
Maximum Carnage for Genesis and Super Nintendo. Yes, Maximum Carnage.
Shit. I was going off on the original idea that it was a video location, like in real life, that like a video game museum or something that has something to do with the video game industry.
Oh crap! We can do that too. I just switched it up so that we had a little bit more to talk about.
So that was mine. So I'll get into that afterwards because that's what I prepared for, like an idiot.
Well, it's all right. We'll kick into that right after this.
Wait, so prepare for these?
So game locations, so like Spider-Man did New York City, and it was actually funny because the first time I played Spider-Man, I used to spend a lot of time in the city. So I was going through, and I'm sitting there swinging through Central Park, and I'm like, "Hey, I remember that park bench. Hey, wait a second, where's the hot dog guy?" And then I'd be looking for things that just weren't there because, well, why the hell would they program a hot dog guy in the middle of Central Park?
That's a lot like I was on Reddit the other day and someone put a GIF up of the new Spider-Man game, and they showed a building that was pretty unique architecture on the game, and then they picked up their camera and walked out to their window and like showed a picture of the actual building from their window, and I thought that was really cool.
Nice. Did you see the one? Did you see the picture? I've seen it floating around Reddit a lot, where they did a homage back to the original Spider-Man game. There were some guys on some boats. So in the new Spider-Man game,
the scary people, the like block people on the boat.
Yeah. So if you go far enough out and you find these boats and you get to them, there's these people that are literally the same style blockiness as the original Spider-Man game.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was kind of like fitting for Halloween. It's good for October.
Yeah.
I got a good one for October.
Hit it.
Alnwick Castle.
Alnwick Castle.
Yep, it's a big castle in Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Near Scotland. It's on the northeast of Northumberland. It's one of the top tourist destinations. It was where they filmed part of the Harry Potter movies, where some of the Harry Potter games take place, and it also inspired stuff from Dragon Quest and other games.
Oh, nice.
So, just wanted to bring that up because that was a big one. That's a real place you can go, and they actually have events. Like, if you can go, you can learn to like do some stuff and activities out of Harry Potter, which is really neat.
Nice.
They've done some cool stuff with that.
I don't need to go places to do that.
What about you, Shinzu? Anything on any place, any cool game, or any games that use real life locations that were badass? Oh, I think Shinzu might have gone on a work call, so we'll bust his balls later. What about you, Shadow?
Rockstar's done a very good job in GTA 4 and 5 doing that. That's been like their primary thing, is trying to recreate the cities that it's based off of.
Okay, so in 4 and 5, which cities were they based off of?
4 was based off New York City and New Jersey, and 5 was based off Los Angeles. I've never been to either location, so I can't verify the accuracy, but apparently it's very much like what you see in Spider-Man, where people were able to just be like, oh, I live in that building. Oh, I go there all the time. But I'm trying to think of some other ones right now.
Well, one being that it is Halloween, and being that it is October and we've got Halloween coming up. There's a great one out there that I think they did a very, very good job at recreating the environment and recreating the world. It's Friday the 13th, the game. They went through a really, really painstaking process, I think, to recreate that game environment as the original movie was and as the original location was. Which, speaking of which, if you like Friday the 13th and you dig it, the original camp that they shot Friday the 13th at, or at least the first one, in New Jersey, is doing a tour. They're doing VIP tours and whatnot on April 13th of next year, which you can buy tickets for and actually go and hang out and go check it out, see what the original place was like.
And bring a significant other and try to get it on.
That sounds like a good idea. Let's go there where they filmed Friday the 13th and get it on, because that worked out real well for Kevin Bacon.
Actually, that might actually work. Where's that location?
It's in Jersey.
I'm going to need something more accurate than that. I'm not getting lost in Jersey again.
Hold on. Let me Google that for you.
All right,
I don't see him typing.
What did I miss?
Oh, did somebody fart over there?
So, Shinzu, we were talking about game locations that mimic real life. Some of the ones we mentioned were Grand Theft Auto, Friday the 13th, Spider-Man.
Not Silent Hill?
There's a good one. Silent Hill is based off that town in Pennsylvania.
That is correct. Coal fire is still burning to this day.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's a lot of coal burning, man. That's a lot of steaks and a lot of burgers.
Yeah. And those people that sell propane are like, fuck those people.
Right. Don't need to start a grill. Just go out and dig in your backyard until you find some coal that's lit.
What else? What other type of what other locations? What other games have some great locations that are based on? Oh man, we are completely blown by a couple of games here.
A series, in fact.
I mean, yeah. Assassin's Creed.
Okay. I wasn't thinking of those, but yeah.
I was thinking more of the lines of stuff like Gran Turismo with real-life racetracks.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate.
The circuits from those.
Laguna Seca.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I saw a documentary on the creating of Gran Turismo. And
Nice.
the guys actually go out there when they go and do digital representations of the tracks. They'll actually go out and take pictures of all the corners, everything, down to literally cracks in the road. And they're putting them in the game.
Can I get that job?
Man, I wish.
I'll do it. I'll go with a tripod and photograph every crack in the road.
Dude, it's amazing the level of detail that they go to for Gran Turismo. I mean, for all games, really. I mean, a lot of mainstream games, I've seen them go to a lot of painstaking detail to get the end product.
Look what they did for Skyrim. Like any Elder Scrolls game, they send these people out to the most remote areas to capture textures and things like that off of statues and things that they're planning on modeling it after.
Well, think of other Bethesda games like Fallout 3 in Washington, D.C., Fallout 4 in Boston.
Speaking of realism in Assassin's Creed, not the location, but the people. Apparently the game, or AC3, won't let you continue the storyline if you accidentally murder George Washington.
That's logical.
Whoops.
I could see that being an issue.
I didn't know who it was because I didn't listen to the mission brief, so I stabbed him.
His picture should be iconic. Every dollar bill you throw to the stripper, fool.
It was back when he was a lieutenant. He's like 18 or 19 at the time.
Well, did you check him for wooden teeth first?
No, that's when he still had his real teeth, I think.
You think?
It was the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment, you just stab somebody.
Yes, you don't?
This is why we can't have nice things like time machines. This is exactly why.
Okay, Mr. McStabby.
Alright, well, first off, I'm not Cable that's willing to go back in time and shoot baby Hitler.
Actually, he wasn't, but Deadpool was.
No, Deadpool was willing to go back in time, but not willing to shoot baby Hitler. They covered that.
Oh, yeah, the extended Hitler scene. It showed him, like, cuddling him and stuff.
He's like, hang on, I have a friend that has no problems trying to kill kids.
Oh, God.
I know, we're doing great tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least we got rid of the fart jokes.
Did we, wasn't, the Jason game also based
Actually,
off
I mentioned Friday the 13th. Yeah, actually,
Okay, I
we
must have missed
and they're doing tours there on April 13th.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, I saw the link. Yeah. What
Yeah,
other games?
they went through a really, really painstaking process to recreate that game for Friday the 13th.
Wasn't that gaming studio almost shut down too?
Actually, it started. Well, the game started off as it was called Slasher, and it was obviously a Friday the 13th ripoff, and they knew it. And when they presented it to the people who own the license to Friday the 13th, they went like, "Look, this is the game we're making. We're pretty sure you're going to sue us, so can we just have the license to make it a Friday the 13th game instead?"
And they were like, "Oh, you guys can make one that doesn't suck."
Not location-based, but realism in games. So Splinter Cell Blacklist. It had real locations, but it opens up in Anderson Air Force Base in Guam. And within 10 seconds, you see most games get the military camouflage wrong. They did the Air Force uniforms spot on. To the point where I actually got upset about the fact that they were just being murdered. Like, that entire game was a revenge mission for me. Just because they hit it so realistically, and I'm just like, I could have been one of those people.
He makes a valid point there. Perfect Dark, you get to tour Area 51.
Yeah, but who can actually say whether Area 51 actually looked like that or not?
Maybe no. Maybe the game developer knocked on the door and was like, "Hey, we're making a game. We just want to take some pictures of the cracks in the walls."
You can pull up
General
the satellite
goes,
imagery.
Yeah, sure, why not? What harm could it do?
You can go to Google Earth right now and find Area 51, and it's not censored.
No, it's not going to be.
It's
why
right
would it
there.
be with the chips inside all the motherboards there?
Yeah. For those of you who are curious to find it on Google Earth, look up Groom Lake. Grooming as in what you should be doing every morning before going out in public.
Well, to be honest, I don't really know if this is going to work because, I mean, I'm just kind of just shooting, ideas out here, and I really don't think it fits to the form. Like, you would really want this thing to really meld meld in with what you're doing. And when you start like pulling off different things like abstract concepts or things that kind of go outside of the timeline, the scenery, and the feel of the environment, then it kind of pulls you out of this experience, which is supposed to be kind of like an immersive experience. I'm not talking like 3D virtual reality kind of experience, but still an immersive, like putting me in the shoes of this individual. And when you do this stuff, it really just kind of throws it off. And honestly, I mean, I don't like that. But one of the things that I never liked was in the Splinter Cell Conviction game, you had this mission where you're going off and there's this PMC that's operating, and it takes over this security for this this research facility called White Box, where they develop EMP technology for the government. Well, they get bought out, and this PMC comes in for security, and they get what they need, and they have this sinister plan to use these EMPs to pretty much annihilate the electronics and the security within Washington, D.C., so they can kill the president. So they have these scientists doing this thing, and they have no idea what the fuck they're doing, like what the end goal is. They know what they're doing scientifically, but they go through and you get to this mission. You save this one guy, and then you go in the elevator, and then they're just massacring the scientists, just clearing house. And you can't do anything to stop it. Like, I remember being at the door, and like he's got everyone like on their knees, and he's ready to shoot. I could kick the door in, and I could literally take all of them the fuck out. But it doesn't let me do that. Because as soon as I open the door, no matter what or how fast I do it, they just mow everyone down right in that second. It's really kind of annoying, because it's like you're this guy who's gone rogue for a good reason, but at the same time, you've also been this guy who like comes in and protects America, protects freedoms, and would protect people like this. And these people aren't necessarily evil. They're doing a job. Like, they think they're doing this for like a government contract, but it's not. It's for some sinister purpose, and they don't know that because they're kept in the dark, and then they're just killed off because they know too much.
All right, D, so hit us. What are some of these museums?
Oh, okay. The first one I have is actually in the UK for a destination I'd like to go to. It's called the National Video Game Arcade, and it was in Nottingham, and they're reopening it in Sheffield. It almost closed down, so that's why it's closed. It's getting relocated. But it was rescued by some game developers in the UK, some successful ones, including Sumo Digital and Playground Games, and along with Ian Livingston, founder of Domark and Games Workshop, that presents games as like it tries to promote them as art, as a form of art and expression. So that's really cool that they have, and it's unlike anything else. They've got a ton of games, and I'd love to go see it because in America we missed out on a lot of great games that got released in the PAL regions, but not here.
Now, when you say missed out, like missed it with a gun?
I mean, like, say, you remember The Illusion of Gaia? It was a great game on the Super NES?
Yeah.
It's actually part of a trilogy. We've got two of the three. You've got Soul Blazer, and you've got Illusion of Gaia. We missed out on the best one. It was released in the PAL region in Japan, Terranigma.
But we can play
was the
that
best
now.
out of three. Yeah, we can find it now, yeah. But my point being is there's a lot of cool stuff that, there's some shooters that...
I gotta know, does this museum have an actual working cart of E.T.?
I don't know. I couldn't find all the, because it's kind of being rebuilt, so I couldn't find everything on it. Awesome.
Other than the top of my head? All right.
Now, a little closer to home, you've got the American Classic Arcade Museum, and that's in Laconia, New Hampshire, and it's got over 300 classic arcade cabinets in mint condition from the 70s and 80s, all working.
There was a place by me that actually specialized in arcade games. There's actually a bar in a town near me that is specialized in drinks and like Street Fighter games and various games that were on arcade.
Do tell.
I'm sorry? They used to, but they gave up on that. So I guess it just became kind of annoying when they had so many boxes circulating that they had to keep changing the drink titles and things like that. And eventually the drinks were just pretty much the same. They just kept rotating the names, and it was like, all right, whatever. They'll still do specials if like brewery company releases something that's along the lines, they'll do like a special one night. But usually you get like you go there, you buy a package is like a beer and then like $5 worth of tokens, something like that, to play all these arcade games. Yeah, it is a barcade. Yeah,
I love a good barcade.
Shadow, you got to read that out. You can't just post that in there.
One of the ET cartridges that had been dug up was taken by the Smithsonian Institute for its record, calling the cartridge both a representative of the burial site, but also in terms of video games, how the cartridge represents the ongoing challenge of making a good film to video game adaptation. The decline of Atari, the end of an era for video game manufacturing, and the video game cartridge life cycle in regards to the ET burial site being excavated.
Okay, so where'd you pull that from so you don't get sued for stealing it?
Oh, that's on Wikipedia.
Oh, okay, then anybody could have wrote that.
Oh, yeah, it's item number 57 on the Wikipedia page, which comes from landfill to Smithsonian Collection Atari.
Oh.
Something. There's a website there. Oh, it's actually the Smithsonian. It's an article on the Smithsonian. It's their website.
I remember they dug some of those cartridges up, and they still actually worked, too. That was the terrifying part.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
They're not going to degrade, really, unless they have an... I don't think Atari cartridges had an internal battery, did they?
No.
No.
They were all static. There was no save games.
Yeah, there was no reason those would degrade. Not like VHS. VHS is going out. What I missed, though? Do I need to hop in on anything?
No. We're pretty much we're shifting gears onto the museums now. So you jumped in right there at the right time.
Okay.
There's a Shadow sent over a list of museums that there are, and there's actually more museums in the United States than I thought there was. There's actually one in Rochester, New York. The Strong National Museum of Play houses the International Center for the History of Electronic Games and the World Video Game Hall of Fame.
I'm surprised by the one in Frisco, Texas. Seems like an odd place, but I guess whatever.
I mean,
surprisingly enough, down south, there's actually a lot of like retro game lovers down south. Even some of the redneck areas like Arkansas.
Well, Rochester is the one that surprises me because it's like, hey, let's just randomly put this in Rochester. Nowhere near the capital, nowhere near New York City. We're just going to throw this out in the west side of the state.
You got Buffalo out there, so why not?
Yeah, what do you get in Buffalo except for like 12-foot snowdrifts?
I was going to say some awesome buffalo wings.
12-foot snow cones.
I've heard tell that Buffalo is not the best place for buffalo wings.
That saddens me greatly.
It is actually true. I used to live out in Syracuse, and I traveled to Buffalo, and I got some chicken wings out there, and they were absolute trash.
I've heard this. I've heard this very sentiment before. Seems ironic, but not.
Oh, but you know what? Hold on here. There's a video game museum in the Netherlands. I smell G.N.A. trip.
I do too. Surprisingly, it smells a lot like farts.
Oh, in the Netherlands, I was going to say weed, but okay.
I'm
referring more to us.
Like, it's all legal in Amsterdam, isn't it, right?
Not exactly.
Yeah, farting isn't legal anywhere, especially in a van when you've just closed the door and somebody's about to drive your ass to get you drunk.
No, it's not legal. It's a contest.
Or in an elevator when you're walking somebody downstairs.
Oh, yeah. It's a contest. Whose is more potent?
The one in the elevator, it's the shortest person.
Oh, yeah. God, that reminds me of a horrible joke.
Yeah, I know which joke you're... That's where I drew inspiration.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it anyways, just because it's a horrible joke. So there's manager Bob sitting in his office, and all of a sudden Alice comes running in. I want to file a sexual harassment suit against Phil. Well, why? He told me my hair smelled nice. Why does that sexual harassment? He's a midget.
Which side?
I get it because it's funny. Ha!
My needed context for this joke is which side?
Yes.
Anyways,
I think it's the carpet.
One last place I would say would be really good to, as I just try to get a little bit of a spattering out here and there, is in Japan, the Akihabara Electric Town, a center city area near Tokyo, is the core of the country's video games and electronics culture. So it's got like tons of shops, all selling anything from new to retro. And it's also become the kind of the hub of otaku culture as well. So that's another hit destination if you're in that region of the earth.
In my fourth year, I have to do my advanced rotations. Usually we're allowed to do overseas if we have the money. Taiwan is a very common place that people are allowed to do their rotations. I'm really hoping that I can do a rotation in Japan. That'd be awesome. But yeah, rotations are interesting coming to the fourth year.
Very cool. Well, let's shift gears into talking about video games and their locations. Where would you want to go visit where a video game took place? That doesn't necessarily have to be a real place, but if you could go visit somewhere where a video game was, where would it be? One place, don't give me 15.
Peach's Castle in the Mario series.
Why? You'd never find it.
No, she always has cake. Like the N64 version.
You never see
She always has cake.
though. The cake is a lie.
Oh, fuck.
And let's be honest, D, you aren't killing Bowser for cake. You could roll towards him, but you ain't battling him.
Come on, I'm going to be one of the traps.
Oh yeah, Bowser's a trap.
But to say, I'm not. If some of the cosplays I saw, if that's how Bowser looks, I ain't fighting back.
Oh god.
What about you, Shadow? Where would you go visit? I see you thinking there.
I am thinking, and I'm just like, the problem is, a lot of the video games I play, like the most beautiful and scenic places, there's plants that want to murder you. It's like going to Australia. So, like, I would love to go to Tucson from The Witcher, but, again, different Tucson. I've been there, never going back. 117 degrees, pissing on the side of the highway. Fun times. I know, seriously. I actually got to experience Tucson raining. It was great. Yeah, it was great. But, yeah, like, I would, like, the world of The Witcher, it's a very beautiful world, and I would love to visit it. Luckily, there's enough real-life inspiration there. But would I really want to go there if it was really real? Nah, everything's trying to kill you there.
What about you, Shinzu?
I would say I'd like to visit Hyrule, but the Ocarina of Time version, not the every other version. Not the flooded version, not the moon gonna crush you version.
Well, that wasn't Hyrule, was it? I thought Majora's Mask was a different place.
Majora's Mask was in a different place, but the Kingdom of Hyrule technically was still around that time frame. So if you visit Hyrule when the moon is going to crush you anyway, it's still going to kill more than just the one town.
It's going to come through that portal.
Wait, isn't, like, Termina basically another world, though?
Yeah, there's a portal in between. Like, Link fell into a portal, and then...
Did they actually... I never really looked too far into it. I thought that
through the woods and found a hole in the ground. It's like, oh, there just happens to be a portal in this hole in the ground. I'm going to fall through it.
It would have to take place in another world, because Majora's Mask takes place in between young Link and adult Link. So if the moon did crash, it still would have
Well, it doesn't.
Everything.
You stop it from crashing, though, is the thing.
I thought adult Link never happened because he was like...
They also reference...
This is actually where the timeline splits in two.
Yeah.
If Link fails, it goes through one timeline. If he succeeds, it goes through the other. At the
same time, though, they reference Hyrule within the town when you talk to people. They talk about Hyrule.
Yeah, they know of it, but it's technically a different world. It's almost like another dimension or a world within a world. So even if Termina gets destroyed, the rest of Hyrule does not get destroyed.
Still don't want to go in that time frame. I want Ocarina of Time 64.
All right, what about you, Gravemind? Any place you'd visit?
Can I give two answers?
Hit me. What you got?
All right. The Citadel from Mass Effect.
Oh, good call.
Oh, yeah, let's say.
And then it's kind of similar, but the Ark from Halo.
See, I would have to say no to that one.
Well, it depends on the flood being a thing. If the flood's a thing, I don't want to go to the Ark.
I mean, the thing is that the flood is there. That's the thing. They're just sealed.
No. The flood wasn't on the Ark. The flood was on Installation 4, and they traveled to the Ark. They weren't there before.
That was true. The flood were never stored on the Ark in any capacity.
No, they were always on the Halo installations, but never on the Ark. They moved their assets.
Wait a minute, hang on. What's the arc again? Because they had the DNA for the flood.
The arc was the big, like...
It was the star. Yeah, the Ark is literally a place that the Forerunners stored specimens that they wanted to survive the Purge, and
they stored all specimens. That's also where the Flood was created too. No,
they did not store the Flood.
There.
No, the Flood was the like the Prometheans, the precursors. It was the precursors. They basically rendered them down to elementary particles, and the particles got. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm being me. So the Flood is the result of essentially humanity being stupid. They found this capsule of crap that entered our galaxy, and they started applying it to domesticated animals, which created the Flood. The Forerunners had no knowledge of it prior to that.
They retconned that. The precursors basically made the Forerunners. The Forerunners didn't like the precursors because the precursors chose humanity to inherit the mantle, and the Forerunners like, no, we ain't gonna have that. So they destroyed any remnants that the precursors had in the Milky Way galaxy. They rendered them down to their molecular components. We got some flexing. They rendered them down to molecular components. They got corrupted, and those components became the Flood. Humans found those components and started like experimenting with them, and then their experiments kind of erupted into the human Flood War, which erupted into the human Forerunner War, which erupted into the Flood Forerunner War.
I'm reading up on it now. There's been a lot of retcons on this thing.
It's
almost impossible.
There's been a lot of eruptions.
So there was at one point in time the Flood was on the Ark, but it looks like that was retconned.
Yeah.
I mean, logically, if I was them, I wouldn't store the Flood there. That was supposed to literally be something they couldn't get to.
There's also another thing that the arc shown in Halo 3 is not the only arc. That was the lesser arc. There's apparently a greater arc.
Yeah, there's a couple of arcs as I'm looking through here now. And Installation 4B is the one you fired.
Why do they keep rewriting shit? It's just gonna get confusing.
Yeah.
I love Halo lore. It's like Halo's my bag.
I'm making a mistake and going to the Halo wiki, which means I'm not doing anything else for the rest of the night.
Pretty much. I'm just doing it
right
right now. And
here's my one problem, though, with going to either the Citadel or the Ark. See, if we go back to Hyrule, we've all got the knowledge of what we have now, so we all of a sudden can blow them away with or be killed at by being burnt at the stake as a witch. But we still know a whole bunch of stuff. If we go to the Citadel, we're literally the dumbest people on that boat.
So you just dance like Shepard.
Come on, I think even if we went to Hyrule, we'd still be the dumbest people in that group.
I think that's the difference between trying to show off and just sightseeing.
Yeah, but let's say you got stuck there. What then?
All right. Well, that calls for a different answer.
Murder and takeover?
Does the magic of that world apply to you?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Digimon.
Okay.
I want a Digimon. Why not?
You know, I actually, with you guys sitting here talking about this, I've been trying to think of a place that I'd want to go, and I still really have not come up with any place that I really, really want to go, other than, like, Star Wars, because I really want to play around with a lightsaber. I know I'm going to lob my hand off or something, but I still want to do it.
Too many politics.
I mean, there's politics everywhere.
Yeah, but you got an entire galaxy to get away from some of them. I mean, you find some remote planet. Just don't go to the forested ones of the Ewoks. They tend to poke you as sharp objects, little pointy fuckers.
Dude, I could be one of the first people in the Star Wars galaxy to use a fart as the Force.
Wow.
I'm going to use Force Push. No, not like that, Obi-Wan.
Cecil has mastered the art of shart.
I prefer the Schwartz to the Force. Thank you.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Lone Star. I love that movie. I was so psyched when they released the Schwartz Awakens posters, and it just turned out to be a prank, and that was very crushed.
Oh, yeah.
I don't put pranks like that past them, though.
Balls get new movies. Why?
It's because Rick Moranis doesn't want to come back to do films. He's out. And you can't have Spaceballs without Rick Moranis.
Nah, bring in some emo kid to play fucking Spaceballs Kylo Ren. Fucking Rick Moranis's...
Styrofoam Ben?
Yeah, third nephew twice removed. And you'll be fine.
Or just clone him.
Yeah.
I know, you need to have Darth Helmet in there somewhere.
All right, well, we've got a few questions from Zyberblood. I'm not even calling them questions from the audience anymore because it's just Zyberblood typing in some random stuff. So let's go around the room, and we're going to start off with the first question he's got with, regardless of being a comic buff, is there a character that appeals to you more than any other? Ooh, I'm assuming he's referring to comic character. Alrighty, Gravemind, let's start with you.
So just comics?
Yeah, just relating straight to comics. There's a character that appeals to you the most.
My favorite comic book character is always going to be Spider-Man.
Nice.
It's kind of generic, but I don't know. I just feel like he captures the humanity of the character more than any other superhero is going to.
Dude, that's all right, man. You and like 4 billion other people would say the exact same thing. Spider-Man's very popular.
It's true. Like,
and he's a wisecracker.
There's a reason he's popular.
You can go to the less popular route, go to like Moon Knight. Oh, Moon Knight's crazy. He's going to fucking, he's a fucking schizophrenic.
Yeah.
But, Peter Parker, he was a high school student. He was smart. He got bit by a spider. And then he became a genius and a crime fighter.
I think that's kind of like what we all want to do.
Exactly. I it's generic, but it's probably my best answer that you're going to get out of that question.
I dig it.
Yeah, I tried getting superpowers once, and if you get bit by a spider, you usually just get a lump or a rash. Yeah, don't try.
Yeah,
that.
Don't try to roll around in radioactive waste either. You just get cancer.
What about you, Shinzu?
I've always been like a Spawn Al Simmons fan.
Okay, Demon Horde, limited power. I get it.
Horde,
went to fucking hell and came back.
For the course of the fact that he was doing exactly what he was told to. He believed he was fighting the right thing until he actually opened his eyes and realized he was doing the wrong things. And just for the sake of getting back to the person he loved, would basically rip the world in half.
I was going to say, just because he went to hell and back doesn't mean anything. Dean Winchester did that.
Yeah, but it was really lame.
Sam went to a portion of hell?
Yeah, he went to a cage.
Yeah. It was kind of in hell, kind of.
Well, you also saw the big line of hell, too. The convention line.
I would also like to add a addendum to my answer and add the Punisher. Because Frank Castle, he has good intentions, but bad.
See, you just went two completely opposite spectrums of the friggin' superhero. Like, you're like, very
Bipolar
good superhero,
opposites.
doesn't do anything bad, to, I'm going to murder your family just to get to you.
Sounds like somebody should have picked the schizophrenic Moon Knight.
Yeah, maybe I should have picked Moon Knight. But Frank Castle, he did all the bad things, but it started because bad people killed his family.
Okay. What about you, D?
Professor Charles Xavier. You know how many fucking pranks you could pull? When you could touch the mind of anybody in the planet. Can you imagine what shit would go down?
Yeah, everybody believes ghosts are real because of you.
Because of Professor X, you'd have shit like people listening to the voices in their head like, Trump. This would be a great idea to tweet on Twitter for all the planet to see.
Oh, God.
Who knows? I could be doing that now.
D just wants to shave his head, and he doesn't have the courage to do it.
Yeah, that's why it's only half shaved.
Yeah, you gotta go the full Xavier.
But if I got those cool powers to F with people, oh, heck yeah. Imagine the voices in people's heads. Like, I'd be the voice inside Deadpool's head.
What about you, Shadow?
I've actually been sitting here making awkward faces because I'm thinking, what character appeals most to me?
Aquaman, so I can talk to fish.
Oh, yeah. I love talking to fish.
And so can the rest of us can pick on him mercilessly.
Like, if we're
so you
basing
can
this...
talk to your girl's legs, be like...
Hey, just go as, like, as far down the spectrum as you can go. Be like, what's his name? Molecule Eater Lad or something like that. That was a superhero. It's no. It was Arm Fall Off Boy. He pulled his arm off and used it as a club to beat villains. That was his power.
But he used his arm to beat off.
Well, don't you?
His arms grew back, but he rip his arms off and beat people to death with them.
Or Arm Fall Off Boy. He would pull his arm off and beat villains with it.
If we're gonna talk about just in the what abilities I want, it would be Nightcrawler from X-Men. Just the ability to be omnipotent wherever I want to be, whenever I want to be.
His is limited by
That's omnipresent.
Right? Like he has to know where he's teleporting to teleport to. Otherwise, it's not safe.
I mean, that's fine. It's like they did in Jumper. As long as you have if you've seen a picture of it, you can get there.
I liked the explanation that X-Men Evolution, the cartoon, had about it, where he was like traveling through another dimension, and he was do it fast enough, like people could grab onto him in between. That was kind of fun.
It was like it's essentially like hell.
Yeah, he was like going through hell,
and like
fucking demons could grab onto him, and fucking come with him.
He got stuck there with somebody else, and he's just like, "This isn't." Oh my god! And like it freaked him out because before he was going through it so fast, he didn't even know.
Yeah,
it was just pop in, pop out.
Down though, someone slowed him down to where he could see what was going on.
Oh yeah, then he didn't use it for like a month.
Fucking comics are fun.
See, I'm gonna go even more lame than you, Grave. I'd go Superman, and the only reason really is because I'd want to fly. I mean, the invulnerability that kind of has to go along with it because as soon as you start flying at supersonic speeds, that wind will shear the flesh off you quicker than you can count.
Yeah, I'd be that one kid from Simpsons. I'd throw like a kryptonite stick at you, you'd fall and go, ha.
When I was younger, I would have said Superman was lame because he was too powerful. But I've done more research then, and he's a human that has superpowers. And it's like, what would average Joe Kansas do with God powers? I see that more than as someone that's like indestructible. I see Joe Kansas with God powers rather than just dude can't die.
Well, the thing that I really like about him is he's also incredibly naive at times. I wouldn't say as naive as Iron Fist is every time, but he's pretty naive at times where he just really, really wants to see the good in somebody, even though there's no good there whatsoever. That's
the point that I was missing when I was younger, was like, he's just a dude that was raised by his foster parents in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
He's not an alien first. He's an American first. He just happened to be an alien from Krypton.
Yeah, he just happens to be able to run stupid fast and fly.
Mm-hmm. But I can see it. I can see having the ability and not maybe knowing how to use it. Well, you know how to use it, but not knowing how to utilize it.
Well, that's what I loved about the early seasons of Smallville. It was really him figuring it all out. It wasn't him as full-blown Superman going, hey, I have all these powers, I know how to use them, and I'm going to use my heat vision to heat this up, and then my cool vision to cool it down and make it shatter, or vice versa, or whatever.
I think that's where the DCMU, or the DCCU, DC Cinematic Universe, DCCU, would have failed, would be that Superman he was not relatable as a character in Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman.
No, he really wasn't. He was so far from. Yeah, he was. He wasn't Joe Kansas. He was a completely different person who, how the hell he fit in anywhere is amazing.
Yeah, he was just an alien. Like, he was always the odd man out. He saved the bus full of kids, but he was never a part of those kids.
Yeah, and they all looked at him like he had 8 heads.
Mm-hmm.
All All right, next question Zyber had was, being that time of year and all, what real location that's said to be haunted do you want to stay overnight at or just live at? I'm pretty confident somebody's going to say nowhere, but let's reverse that order. Shadow.
Nowhere. Ben don't do spooky.
Shocker.
That's why you started with me, right? Because I'm not a fan of October. Just not.
All right, let's bounce over to Gravemind. Where would you want to go?
Gary. Being that it's local, the Crescent Moon Hotel is apparently haunted. I'd like to stay there a night, see what's going on. Number one priority would probably be the Penn State Penitentiary, though.
Penn State? Where's that?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, I've been there. I have been there.
Apparently, that's like the number one haunted spot ever is Penn State Penitentiary.
Whatever you do, don't go there during October, because all they actually do, they don't let you actually go through the jail itself. They have like this stuff set up on the grounds. It's basically in the backyard, and you go through. It's a haunted house. That's all it is. It's a haunted house.
I mean, that's what it's known for. So of course they're gonna try to make money on that. There's also, the Crescent Hotel is in Arkansas. It's whatever they say, it's haunted, but it's in Arkansas, so it's local. There's also I forget the name of the hotel, but it's in Colorado. It was what The Shining was based off of.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
To go to that. I forget the name of it, though.
I don't think that place is haunted, though. I think they just used it for The Shining, didn't they?
Stephen King stayed there, and he wrote the book based on it. So I think it's supposedly haunted, but they don't...
I think Stephen King is haunted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've seen the Dark Tower. That movie was apparently horrible. I haven't seen it yet, but the book was great. But that's what the book was based off of, on The Shining.
All right. What about you, D?
I'd like to go to like a remote locale, like Kilkea Castle in Ireland. It's got legends of the Earl who presided over it that haunts the castle. It's now a luxury hotel, so you can literally stay there in luxury. But it says you can still hear at night the clash of steel on the staircases where all the battles were fought. And he was also known as the Wizard Earl because of his attempts at alchemy. And they say that every 7 years you can see him galloping over the windswept plains right by the castle. It'd be really neat.
All right.
Little alchemy and witchcraft, little battles, little castle. It's now a luxury hotel, so it's not like it'd be uncomfortable like camping on the ruins of a castle. It's actually a luxury hotel. I think that'd be freaking awesome.
All right, what about you, Shinzu?
I'd like to visit Gettysburg at night.
Ooh, that's creepy as hell. See, I actually, there's a couple of places that I would want to visit that are quote-unquote haunted. There's this asylum complex right next to Mohegan Sun. It's right across the river from it. And they're actually tearing it down to make a water park, which is really disappointing because the whole complex, just for urban exploration in general, it's really amazing.
A haunted water park. Well, no, it's haunted if any disasters strike.
Oh yeah. Well, there's that, and I got like this weird soft spot for old asylums. Probably because of just growing up watching movies about them, like the remake, the '90s remake, 1999, I think it was, remake of House on Haunted Hill. They took place in an old asylum, and man, that movie was right up my alley. It wasn't really a great movie, but man, I loved the setting and I loved what they did with it. Penhurst is another place. I think I'm hoping that we can get going next summer. We can get a G.N.A trip going there, because that sounds like it'd be a really interesting place to hang out for a weekend. And maybe if I can reach out to them, and if they're listening, maybe they'll let us do a podcast from inside the asylum, which would be cool.
If I have the money, I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome.
Oh, I never said anything about having money. I was just figured I'd go rob somebody.
Well, money. I gotta pay for not being at home. Apparently, that's the thing in America. You gotta pay for not being at home. But yeah, Pennhurst seems great. It's one of the premier haunted locations of America.
You know what? There is one place that I think I'd want to camp, but I don't know if I could feasibly do it. There was a bridge, I think, in Vermont. Might have been Connecticut.
The covered bridge, yep. Where as you drive by, it gets scratched to hell, supposedly.
Yeah, and you get handprints all over your car.
That's a different thing. I think that's in Arkansas, where like they push you over the railroad tracks or something like that.
No. There's a covered bridge, an old covered bridge, and I want to say it's in Vermont.
There's another thing where the handprints thing, like apparently a bus full of kids went over a railroad track and all died somehow, and
yeah, this is two separate things actually.
Yeah, if you put flour on your bumper when you park on one side of the railroad track, you can see the kids' handprints as they push you over the railroad tracks.
Yeah, that'd be wild. That'd be hella wild. Yeah, I'd like to check out that place as well.
Isn't there supposed to be some haunting in the Ozarks by you, Gravemind?
Yeah, well, the Crescent Hotel definitely.
Yeah, that. But I think the Ozarks are supposed to be haunted by something too, right?
Hot Springs probably.
Yeah, I went to Hot Springs because I actually lived in Arkansas for a short bit.
Because there was a lot of gang activity in Hot Springs. So there's
the gambling, and you had all the bathhouses.
And then you go to the Ozarks, there's a lot of drug activity. So I'm sure there's my dad and his friend, they looked into buying a house that was very much discounted because apparently people had heard things there. But I was in that house and I never saw anything or heard anything. It's not like a big thing. They never bought the house, but when I was there was nothing specific that I would point out about being wrong about the house.
All right, well, last question we got from Zyberblood is, what horror movie monster is your favorite? Ooh, that's a good one. We'll start with Shinzu this time.
I was going to say, please don't start with me because I have to think about this one. I honestly, I don't know.
Now you got to think and talk it out at the same time. I'm a horrible human being.
God.
God is your favorite horror movie monster? That's
something like that.
If you've read the Old Testament, seems legit.
I mean, yeah, he's quite the interesting fellow in the Old Testament.
He likes to condemn people to an eternity of fuck.
Also, apparently, he really loves water parks because he sure flooded the earth a few times.
I mean, I really
bet, didn't he?
I really don't think I could actually choose a favorite out of all the ones I have, but I do have one that particularly kind of stands out just from how he goes about everything. The Wishmaster.
Okay.
So Jin would be
Jin.
the monster. Yes.
Yeah, how he goes about it, basically giving people what they want, and as he does that, he always finds a way to twist their wishes like a monkey paw and make what they really, really want, what they really, really wish for, to be absolutely horrible. At the same time, each time he grants their wish, he becomes one step closer to getting what he wants, which is pretty much freedom, and that gives him the ability to do whatever he wants.
So they tell him what they want, what they really, really want?
Yes, I'll tell you what they want, what they really, really want.
And also, once he finally gets to be released, it'll allow him to release all the Jinn back into our world, too, to basically destroy and take over.
You're not getting the joke, though.
Yeah, he didn't get the joke at all. That's okay, D.
What about you, D?
Yeah.
What's your favorite monster?
I would have to say demons, because they don't have to be the whole big, ugly, stupidly, jump scare thing. They can be pretty subtle too. Like you got
specific canon, or is it just demons?
Yeah, like what movie?
Demons in general. Like for instance, The Exorcist, that's a good one where he just possesses.
Okay.
I mean, because there could be a whole realm of stuff, especially if it's a little bit more psychological,
Okay, I can go with that.
But I also like the kind of in your face demons, like Hellraiser series too. That's kind of fun.
All right. What about you, Ben or Shadow? I'll edit that later.
I'm trying to actually I've watched a handful of horror movies in my life, so this is actually really difficult. Yeah, I got nothing on this one.
For him, should it be clowns? Clowns?
One that stands out, like one that you're like, oh, I remember that one. Like, what was the first monster that came to your mind when you were thinking of this?
That's the thing; none of them did.
Okay, so name a horror movie.
The Babadook, but that was just depression.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Oh, okay.
Can you be?
We're not going to go into details about that, actually.
Can you commit to Judaism?
I guess if you really want an answer, from Resident Evil, the dog whose head bursts open.
Okay.
And does the tentacle bits.
Wasn't that from The Thing?
Yeah, I don't think that was from Resident Evil. I think it was The Thing.
No, it's definitely from Resident Evil.
Which one?
Let me look it up. God, you guys are killing me.
I think maybe he's mistaking and crossing the dog with the liquors, with the tongue that goes.
Possibly. Hang on.
Yeah,
I'm looking.
liquors are one thing. I was
All right.
the dog that came
you
through the window
look,
is still
and
pretty
we'll switch
terrifying.
over to Grave Mind. I don't think I've gotten you. What monster is your favorite?
It's not a movie. It's a game. Because apparently I'm more afraid of games than movies. But when I was a kid, there was a PlayStation demo disc that had the demo of Parasite Eve.
Oh, yes.
It scared me so bad that I ran into the other room crying because I was so freaked out by the Parasite and Parasite Eve demo. It fucking scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, Parasite Eve, where the power of the mitochondria can make people burst into flames.
Yeah, it scared the fucking shit out of me.
All right, that is disturbing, Shadow. That is very disturbing now that you've given me a visual for that.
Is that from the movie or is that from the game?
Yeah, that's from the movie. That's like number 3 or 4. I think it's 4.
Yeah, the movies are pretty terrible.
I haven't made it to that many movies in Resident Evil. Only the first 1 or 2. So
The first one was
that'd
decent.
be why I didn't recognize that.
The second one just went all downhill, and I was like, no, thank you.
That's why I stopped watching them.
Look, I don't do horror movies, so
Yeah, if I had to pick a movie, it'd probably be The Thing, the remake, just because it was something that was amorphous that could become anything that could kill you at any time.
Shapeshifter. Yeah, I could see The Thing, and man, John Carpenter's The Thing, and the remake of the original The Thing that came from outer space. Both of those, the concept behind them are quite terrifying. My favorite horror movie monster is actually super lame, but the reason I like it is because of the story behind it. Is Freddy Krueger. So Freddy Krueger, if you don't know, he is the bastard son of 100 different people that raped some girl, and he's the son that came out, and he was cutting up small children with a glove that he made full with knives. So all the townspeople came together and threw him into.
But you got to mention, meanwhile, he was a family man himself with a wife and kids that were completely unsuspecting.
Yep.
For some reason, for me, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, and Jason all mix into the same 80s horror movie cliche.
Oh yeah. They have that same
they're
genre.
all the same person.
But the thing that I liked about all of those specifically is that they all had a backstory that made them really interesting. It almost made you, for Freddy Krueger, it almost made you go, well, that guy didn't really have a good start to begin with, so yeah. But also the thing that I like about Freddy Krueger is that he's practically unkillable. They've done everything that you can possibly do to this guy, and he will not die. He always comes back.
Jason fucking, didn't they, cryogenically freeze him and shatter him and he came back?
I don't think they shattered him. He was cryogenically frozen.
They froze him and then they shot him. That was in the Jason X. They froze him, they shot him, and the nanobots brought him back to life.
Fucking Jason versus Aliens. We should have that. Jason versus Aliens. That'd be fucking great.
The funniest part about it, though, is the actor, I know the last name is England, right?
Oh, for Freddy Krueger, yeah.
Yeah, the guy's actually really nice.
Yeah, to talk to, when you see him in interviews and stuff, he is.
Yeah.
But man,
super nice.
He can play a creepy guy just instantaneously. Like, the dude goes from, hey, happy-go-lucky, to, I'm going to murder your family in front of you in a millisecond.
That's the telltale sign of a good actor.
So that's my favorite horror movie monster is Freddy Krueger. And they've like the original ones, 1, 2, 3, possibly 4, I really, really dug. After that, they started getting pretty heavy on the cheese factor, but they still kind of stayed true to that slasher flick. But then they did the New Nightmare? I haven't even seen that yet. I heard that was horrible.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Wasn't that the Rob Zombie one? Didn't he direct one or something like that?
It was where they got a new person to play Freddy, and I forgot who it was.
Now that we're talking about it, like, originally Alien was meant to be a horror movie, right?
Yeah, claustrophobic horror.
Mm-hmm. So that would put Predator in the same universe as Alien, because Predator versus Alien. I would like these horror trope villains to go against each other.
Oh, you mean like Mortal Kombat style?
Yeah, fucking Alien versus Predator versus Jason versus Michael versus...
Actually, I think in the newest in the newest Mortal Kombat, I think you can be the Alien, Predator, and Jason.
You can't be Jason.
I think you can.
I remember Predator, and I remember Alien, and I remember Freddy, but I don't remember Jason. Might be. You might be right. But I'd like to see a movie where they all go against each other. Just horror tropes against each other.
That would be badass.
Okay, I got one.
Hit me.
The T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Oh, you know what? He is... Yeah, he's a pretty good horror movie. Well, but the thing is would you count Terminator as a horror movie, though?
If you're young enough.
Yeah. To me, it was.
I always thought it was an action movie, but, well, I guess. I don't know.
If you're young enough and naive enough, yeah.
Scared the shit out of me the first time I watched it. Still kind of does.
T2 scared me more than T1 did, with the, like, amorphous fucking Quicksilver dude.
T-1000.
That's what I'm talking about. He can be anybody he wants. That's what's scary.
I thought that was the T2000, but...
No, it was... he was a T-1000. Arnold was Cyberdyne System 101.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was mistaken then. Yeah, that fucking dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my first horror movie was, according to my dad, about the age of 2, The Howling.
Oh, great movies. God, those were some classic flicks.
So, yeah, I'm not afraid of horror movies because I watched them for special effects, and my dad brought me up pretty much watching horror, so they're just...
Oh, yeah.
They don't spook me.
I think that was most of our parents. I mean, my parents, brought me up. Well, my dad, specifically, brought me up watching horror movies. I mean, hell, I was watching Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 6 and 7.
Another movie that scared the shit out of me when I was younger. I was probably like 8 or 9. My sister brought me in to watch a scene of The Thinner.
Oh, yeah.
The dude's face fucking melts. It scared the fuck out of me. I ran into my room crying at that dude's face melting in The Thinner. And Tremors was never a horror movie to me.
When I was 8, it was.
Yeah, Tremors was like... Tremors... I don't know. I was never afraid of Tremors. It just was... I don't know. It was more interesting to...
It was like the Gremlins, honestly, in terms of horror movies.
Yeah, you know what's funny is funny you mentioned that, bro. Out of all the movies, I watched all the old classic, The Mummies, Dracula. Since the age of 2, I've been watching horror movies, and none of them scared me. Night of the Living Dead, I used to watch when I was 6. The one movie that I actually got, afterwards I got creeped out was, ironically, Gremlins of all things.
That movie was creepy as hell, though.
See, that movie didn't.
But
creep
after
me out
watching
at
all the rest of, but watching Howling, watching all kinds of things, whether it be The Thing, whether it be Critters, all this shit, nothing fazed me. Went to bed in the dark, no problem. The only one that actually got under my skin as a small kid, for some reason, was fucking Gremlins, and I don't know why.
It's probably because it was associated with the Muppets, and you always grew up with Big Bird and those guys.
Fucking Kermit's gonna get me.
I can get the Gremlins got you, as long as you didn't watch Gremlins 2 before it getting you.
No, it was the first one. Gremlins 2 wasn't even out yet.
No, if you watch Gremlins 2, it's a comedy. If you watch Gremlins 1, it's a fucking horror movie.
I mean,
Well, see, I think the reason Gremlins got me was the same reason back in the day when John Carpenter's Thing got me, because it had that claustrophobic environmental, you're stuck in one place. So Gremlins took place in winter. The whole movie was dark, same way as pretty much The Thing. The majority of the movie was dark. It was cold. It was wintertime. One of course happened in Antarctica. One happened in like wherever, but it was still that cold, claustrophobic feeling. And especially because Gremlins happened in a small town. And I know I spent my winters in a small town, so it kind of hit a little bit too close to home.
You know what actually was the part that got me in Gremlins? Is when he reached under the table and he got, like, bit to hell. Reaching underneath something, getting bit like that, and then being pulled underneath. That's what I think the final straw was that got me.
I think we should go back to Tremors, though, because I fucking love that series.
I love Tremors 1 and 2. After that, it went downhill incredibly
I love every
fast.
bit. Like, even after they got campy, even after, like, 3, 4, and 5, I didn't like 4 that much, but 5 was great. Fucking 3 and 5, perfection of campy. Love the campiness of those.
I feel I was denied critical information.
No, you got to get that quote right. I feel I was denied critical, need to know information.
Dude came down to Mexico with a fucking truck full of high explosives and fucking 50 caliber rounds for his 50 caliber Barrett machine gun that he used on one fucking shrieker graboid thing.
I wanted maximum penetration. Shot through the engine block.
I think there's one horror-based movie for Shadow, because it's a comedy and a spoof.
All right.
Since Shadow's not a fan of horror, look for Repossessed.
Oh God, wasn't that Leslie Nielsen?
Leslie Nielsen's in it, yes. It's a spoof on stuff like The Exorcist and everything else. It's fucking hilarious.
It's not a horror. That's a complete and utter comedy.
It is a complete comedy, but I mean, obviously Shadow has an aversion to horror, so...
Yeah.
Because it'll soften the blow of The Exorcist for him. It'll soften it a little bit.
The ones that have the humorous element, like, I wouldn't even call Cabin in the Woods a horror movie.
No, it was more of an experiment.
I liked it. I thought it had horror elements, but I loved it.
It had horror elements, and I enjoyed it.
They were seeing what they could do with the genre. I think they were experimenting and seeing what they could do.
Like, I've seen Silent Hill. The barbed wire scene creeped me the hell out.
Which barbed wire scene?
I've seen the movie.
Let me.
Where it wrapped around and they got all caught up.
It's just jammed up in.
Oh, towards the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get a gif of that. It still freaks me out because that
with the nurses and.
Yeah, the titty twister from hell is the one that got me in that movie. I didn't expect that. No, but it was decent. I would say comparable to like Resident Evil's game to movie.
It was a good movie, at least. I mean, it's not like, an utter disaster, which would have disappointed the heck out of me.
If you really want to talk about horror movie, let's talk about Aragon.
Oh God, don't know Aragon. No.
What about the Golden Compass?
Well, since this podcast started on a low note, what about the Human Centipede?
And on that note, where can people find you, Gravemind?
They can find me on Discord at Gravemind575 #1205. It's my BattleNet hashtag. You can find me on Twitter at Gravemind. I think I haven't checked in a while, but I think that's true. And you can find me
blankety blank. Blueshark, where can people find you at?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Blueshark45, and you can find me on Twitter at Blueshark45. You can also find me on Mixer, mixer.com/Blueshark45, where hopefully I'll be streaming again some more in preparation for our Extra Life event with the G.N.A. podcast that is coming up the first Saturday of November. And I hope to see you all there.
All right. D, where can people find you at?
People can find me on my website, microbrewgamers with a Z instead of an S.com. Same thing for YouTube, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, sometimes Twitch. I've got my own Microbrew Gamers G.N.A, or not G.N.A, Discord, along with I'm mostly on G.N.A Discord, and Yeah Dude Gamers. I write a few articles for their website as well, yeahdudegamers.com, and I get on their Discord quite often.
Rock on. Where can people find you at, Shinzu?
People can locate me here on the G.N.A podcast. I haven't set anything up yet still for like the 4th week in a row because I'm lazy as fuck.
Yes, you are.
Man, I got paint to watch dry, man. I got shit to do.
Where can people find you at, Shadow?
Avoiding horror movies. And morganbs.com. If you want to find any of my other websites, I have an About Me page there with all my links. You can also find me in the Discord. morganbs.com. We normally say it 12 times in an episode.
Oh, at least 12 times.
At least 12 times.
And I'm Cecil Xavier, your host. You can find me at Cecil vs. Games on Twitter and Cecil Xavier everywhere else. Facebook, Ustream, Twitch, Mixer. You can also find me tolling around the G.N.A Discord. Plus, I am on TPC's Discord, Yeah Do Gamers, Geek Squatch, Microbrews, Mulehorn Gaming. I'm on a whole bunch of Discords. If you can't find me there, let me know and I'll bounce over there. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Reviews help people find the show, so if you enjoy listening to us, spread the word. You can also find us on services like Google Play Music, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, Player FM, Spreaker, MyTuner, Your Listen, and wherever the hell else you want to find us. If we're not there, let us know. We'll upload there as well. Yes, we are finally on Spotify, so if you've been holding out to listen to us because we're not on Spotify, guess what? You can find us there. Go check us out. You can follow us on Twitter at G.N.A Podcast, or join us on our Discord chat. Just see the pinned tweet. Facebook, we're also on Facebook. Just search G.N.A at G.N.A Podcast, and you'll find us there as well. We've partnered with Humble Bundle. Hey, Shadow, why don't you tell us about Humble Bundle?
Damn it, you always do this when I don't have the thing up. Hang on.
Well, I saw you holding the thing, so I figured you had the thing up.
He's too slow.
I just hope you didn't fart on the thing.
I think I did. All right. Humble Bundle is a game purchasing service that we, G.N.A, have partnered with. You can purchase games like you normally would, but with a twist. You can choose what part goes to the publisher, to Humble Bundle, or the charity. You can give it all to charity if you want, or none of it. Your call. Throw that partner equal G.N.A podcast. That's all one bit there. No spaces in there. At the end of your Humble Bundle link before you buy to let them know we sent them sent you that way. Oh, God. So, no, this is great. So far this month, we have raised $12.84 for charity through our partnership with Humble Bundle. Humble Butts. Delicious booty.
We're being
Humble
canceled.
Butts.
That's where the thoughts come from.
Don't forget, you can put that at the end of any Humble Bundle link. So if you're going to buy a game through Steam, check out Humble Bundle. You may be able to get it there and help charity at the same time. He always does this, puts me on the spot, and I screw it up, and now I got to edit all of that.
No, you don't. It should be raw and uncut.
That's how I like it.
Do you like anime? If you do, join us Wednesday nights at 19:30 Eastern Time at www.rabb.it/G.N.A podcast for Anime Night hosted by Blueshark 45. He isn't, Anyway, like horror movies, check out our horror movie night hosted by Zyra Blood at the same Rabbit location every second Saturday. So this Saturday coming up, if you're listening to it.
I will not join you on this.
Oh, fine, be that way. First Saturdays are game show night. We do those at mixer.com/G.N.A podcast. I actually just went by this Saturday.
Yeah, sorry about game show night, man. That kind of sucked. That was kind of like a bust.
Check out our good friends Alex and Caleb at Geek Squatch and Proxy Fox at Yeah Dude Gaming. We want to thank Morgan BS Photography for our new logo and artwork. Check him out at morganbs.com. Email us at GNApodcast@GNAandyourdNA.1 with questions, comments, death threats. We don't care. Last but not least, check out our website, www.GNApodcast.com. We've got pictures up there. We've got the podcast, all sorts of other fun stuff.
It went all the way to the end. It worked.
I'm really grateful that I finished my mudslide because I'm pretty sure I could not drink it after that.
Oh god, I'm just glad we don't want smell-o-vision.
You should want the mudslide more now.
AOD, I think your mic's smoking.
Have a good night, all.
Have a good night.
Night, y'all.
Night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Oh my god, you're entering the exit theme song.